Okay, in this video, I will talk about how to divide a complex number by another complex number. Okay. Before I teach you that, let me tell you something about conjugate of a complex number. If G is equals to A plus BI is a complex number, then its conjugate we denote by G bar. Okay. And this is exactly the same number, but the sign of the imaginary part will be changed. If it is plus, it will be minus. If it is minus, it will be plus, like that. Okay. So for a conjugate of a complex number, you change the sign of the imaginary part. Alright. So let me show you some examples here. Suppose W equals to 4 minus 3i is a complex number. So can you tell me what is the W bar? It will be 4 plus 3i. You change the sign of the I part, imaginary part. Okay, let's see this one. Suppose U is 2i minus 3. So what will be U bar? What is the imaginary part? That 2i is the imaginary part because it comes with I. So you change the sign of that. It will be negative 2i minus 3. You keep the sign of the real part. Only change the sign of the imaginary part. Next one. Suppose V is 7i. What is V bar? That will be negative 7i because this is the imaginary part and you change the sign of the imaginary part. And last one, number 4 is find the conjugate of 3 plus 2i. The conjugate is basically the bar. Okay, so it will be 3 minus 2i. So this is how we find the conjugate. So why do we need conjugate? If you are dividing a complex number, a number by another complex number, then we will have to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. That's how we do. Okay. So let's see here. So here in both examples, I is in the denominator. You want to get rid of I from the denominator and you want to write A plus BI only on the numerator. So how do I get rid of I from the denominator? So the idea is you multiply and divide by the conjugate of the denominator. It's 1 plus 3i divided by 1 plus 3i. You multiply and divide by the conjugate of the denominator. Okay. Now let's multiply the top part. It is 1 plus 3i divided by 1 minus 3i and then 1 plus 3i. What do you get? On the top you have 2 times 1 is 2 and then plus 2 times 3i is 6i. On the bottom part you'll have to FOIL. So it is 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3i is plus 3i. Negative 3i times 1 is minus 3i. Negative 3i times 3i is minus 3 times 3, that is 9i squared. So 9i squared. So you can see that negative 3i and positive 3i will cancel to each other. And then on the top you get 2 plus 6i. On the bottom you get 1 minus 9. What is I squared? Times negative 1. So you got 2 plus 6i divided by 1 minus 9 times negative 1 is plus 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. So if you want to, you can split. So you can write 2 over 10 plus 6 over 10i. So that is basically if you divide by 2, you will get 1/5 plus 3/5 I. Okay. For this number, when you write A plus BI, so A is 1/5, that is the real part, and the imaginary part is 3/5 for this problem. Okay, let's do the same thing for this one. So what do you get? So again, you want to write the denominator without I. You want to get rid of I from the denominator. Okay, so what you do is multiply and divide by the conjugate of the bottom part. That is 3i plus 4. Don't worry about the numerator. There can be anything, but only multiply and divide by the conjugate of the denominator. Do 3i plus 4. Okay. So what do you get in the on the top? You got 1 plus 2i times 3i plus 4. On the bottom you have 3i minus 4 times 3i plus 4. That's what you get. Okay. Now you need to FOIL both top and bottom. On the top you get 1 times 3i is 3i, and then 1 times plus 4 is plus 4, positive 4, and then 2i times 3i is plus 6i squared, and the 2i times 4 is plus 8i. That is the top part. And on the bottom part you have the similar thing. 3i times 3i is 9i squared, and then 3i times positive 4 is positive 12i. Negative 4 times 3i is negative 12i. You see that they always cancel the middle term, and the negative 4 times positive 4 will be negative 16. So what do you get there? So look at this, 3i and 8i, they are like terms, you can add them. 3i plus 8i will be 11i plus 4 plus 6 times, what is I squared? Negative 1. Divide by, you cancel those two. What is 9i squared? 9 times negative 1, right? And then minus 16 is there. So let me write the final thing. 11i plus 4, 6 times negative 1 will be negative 6. So 4 minus 6 will be negative 2. Divide by negative 9 minus 16 will be negative 25. Do you see that? Okay. If you want to split the denominator, you will get 11 over negative 11 over 25 I minus 2 over 25. So this is basically A, this is basically B, because A plus BI. So A is negative 2 over 25, B is negative 11 over 25. So this is how we divide a complex number by another complex number. Okay. Now let me give you the final example on this. So how do I solve 2x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals to 0 using the quadratic formula? Okay. So what is A? A is 2, B is negative 4, and C is 4. So let me use the quadratic formula. X equals to negative B, negative 4 plus minus square root negative B squared, negative 4 squared minus 4. A is 2, C is 4 again, divided by 2 times 2, that is 2a, right? So what do you get? You get negative 4 is positive 4 plus minus square root negative 4 squared is 16, and then minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 is 32, divide by 4. Okay, what do you think? You will get, so this will be equals to 4 plus minus, what is 16 minus 32? You're right, that is negative 16, divide by 4. Okay, so what is the value of negative 16? Do you remember that using, how do we write using I? Yes, so it will be 4 plus minus, square root of 16 is 4, but there is negative 1, square root of negative 1 is I, so it will be 4i, divide by 4. Now split the denominator, you will get 1 plus minus I, because 4 divided 4 is 1 plus minus 4 divided 4 is 1i, that is I. So it is 1 plus I and 1 minus I are the two roots of this equation. Thank you guys.